SMTN.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network Link 278. I'm your host, Spencer Presley, and joining me for this baby shower-filled episode of Zero Baby Shower Talk is #1 Anime Expo fan, New York Nyarly. Nyarly, what's up today?
What's up? I mean, I haven't been doing anything today.
So, I like to always give everyone different icebreaker questions and different things like that. So, as is tradition for when you come on this show, what's one thing you want to tell someone out there who might think you're bored or don't want to be here today?
I haven't had my coffee yet.
That's great heads up. Because just heads up, everybody, because this is not a live show. This is a hot, lazy Sunday afternoon. So yeah, no coffee. It's Sunday. It's going to be pretty chill vibes. I'm like listening to like sleepy time Xenoblade music in the background. So like we'll just fall asleep halfway through this episode happening. Oh, have you ever fallen asleep while streaming or like in a Discord call?
No, but I've seen other people do it.
I always wonder like how do you do that? Because I feel like I'm so active, like, when those, like, happen, I'm like, I can't ever imagine, like, putting myself in there, like, especially when you see people who are solo streaming, they're like, I've been streaming for 20 hours, and I'm just gonna fall asleep while playing this horror game.
Mm-hmm.
That's very weird. But, speaking of streaming, though, have you thought of what you might stream next? Because, you and I share this in common of, we like to stream, but we have no schedule whatsoever. So have you thought about what you might want to stream next?
Well, actually, Caligula 2.
Oh, now that it's on PC?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Actually, like, I don't know if I can say it, but I am going to be streaming that this month. I just need to find a good time to do it.
Are you, like, doing it as, like, a sponsored stream thing, or just want to check it out?
Well, the publisher, they sent me a code, and they're like, hey, you can stream. We'll send you a code if you stream it. And I'll be like,
I
okay.
forgot. Is NIS doing the PC port, or is it actually Fudio?
I think it's NIS.
Okay. Let me know how the PC port is. It was one of those things that, because Monarch was day and date PC for us, I actually always thought Caligula 2 launched on PC, and it didn't. So, since it's been quite a while, I'd be curious how that is, but, yeah, I think July is a pretty good time for, like, out of nowhere, zero hype, like, PC JRPG ports and stuff like that. Because you didn't touch any Caligula 2, right?
You mean Caligula 1?
No. I know you touched Caligula 1. How much did you play last year of Caligula 2?
I didn't play it.
So, Caligula 2 is really good. It's like... it's upsettingly good because very few people talked about it. It's still a budget RPG, so you're still going to have those, like, budget Fudio, like, things of, like, things might look a little low poly or whatever for it, but music, story, gameplay system especially, it's a big step up in that regard. So I'll be curious to see what you think, because I've had a lot of people who had been waiting for it, but just only wanted to play it on PC. So that's also a good example of a good stream game. But I wonder if that's going to be one of those things where, like, you just get instantly demonetized because that game has a ton of vocals by licensed, like, musicians and stuff.
Right.
But we don't do the streaming for the money because we're dumb. We're dum-dums over here. But we're not here to talk about streams, but we do want to talk a little bit about what we've been playing. So what have you been playing since God knows whenever the last time you were back here? What's been your summer gaming binge through... Yeah, we're almost halfway through July, which is absolutely insane. But what have you been playing recently?
Last month I was replaying Shadow Hearts 1. And just recently I beat Pokemon Ultra Sun because that's the only, like, I haven't actually played any of the Alola games. So,
do we count Ultra Sun and Moon as mainline?
Are they canon?
Well, not. I mean, canon doesn't matter, but I mean, like, do we count it as mainline? Like, does Black and White 2 count as much as Black and White? Because I always think of them as kind of like spin-offs to the original.
I mean, I count them. I mean, if you're gonna count, like, if you count, say, like, Yellow or, like, Emerald as mainline, then I'd say those count as mainline.
Yeah, I guess. That makes sense.
Or Platinum.
I just miss the days when they didn't do the double dip release twice in a row. Like, obviously, they split up the games for the base release, but, like, especially in a post-Legends world, it is weird to then, like, go back and be like, yeah, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet are going to be out in 4 months, and I'm like, oh yeah, what do I pick? Because, like, I didn't have to think about that with Pokemon Legends at all. Yeah. But how was Ultra Moon or whatever?
I mean, it was better than I was expecting. Like, it was actually, like, challenging at times.
So
I mean, it's Pokemon. It's
so
not. I wouldn't say it's hard.
So you never played Sun or Moon at all? You just
I played a tiny bit of them. I think I played like the first 5 or 6 hours when they came out, and then I just kind of got like it was like right before Apocalypse came out. So
oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I played Sun. I own both Sun and Moon. Like, I liked Sun and Moon a lot, but I remember it being kind of, like, controversial at the time just because it changed up the formula a lot. But Ultra Sun and Moon just seemed like such a cash grab to me. I never touched it, but I've heard a lot of people say it is a better game. I just didn't feel like a need to play it when it first came out. Does it hold up? Like, because I remember actually also at the time being kind of surprised how good they looked. Because, like, they were really late in the 3DS generation of being like, wow, like, it's nicing how detailed the world looked. Like, because, like, if you go back to X and Y does not look good, you know?
No, it doesn't.
So how did Ultra, like, hold up for you?
They look fine.
Oh, wait, we'll say this, because, I mean, not like it really matters. Did you play on your 3DS, or were you doing Citra?
I was using Citra.
Okay, it looks way, way better on Citra. Like, it feels like it could have just been a Switch game, doesn't it? Like, and if it were just released in 2017 as a Switch game, like, I feel like they could have just put that on Switch and made way more money.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I say way more money. There was, like, a millions and millions of people on 3DS, but shout out to Pokemon Stars. Do you remember following that rumor train? Do you think that was true? Do you think, like, Pokemon Stars actually existed? Are you in the believe it camp or think it was fake?
Well, I mean, I wasn't really keeping up with Pokemon news at the time.
Stars was a big deal. There was so many rumors about Pokemon Stars. There's like a whole Did You Know Gaming thing about it where they really tried to dig in to see if it was real, and they still never found out.
I know there's like there's like a video that's explaining about like how there were plans for Pokemon Z, but they got scrapped because they didn't have enough time.
Yeah, that was weird. X and Y didn't have any iteration release, did they? They just went straight to
those
Omega.
games needed it. Those games needed it the most.
I wonder why. That's weird.
Because X and Y is kind of because X and Y. I was gonna say X and Y sucks, but it doesn't suck. It's just kind of mid.
X and Y at least is lucky in that they can say they were the first. So, like, they kind of, like, it's like how people look at Pokemon Sword and Shield. Like, it's the worst Pokemon game on Switch, but because it was their first time trying to make a Switch game, they kind of get a pass.
You don't think the Let's Go games are the worst ones on Switch?
Oh, dude, Let's Go's... Before Legends released, I thought Let's Go was the best Pokemon game on Switch.
Why?
I like them. They're fun. They're casual. Oh, you know what's another reason? They get a lot of bonus points for being the only Pokemon game to let you play 2-player. It's a fun game to, like, play, like, super casually. Like, if you're someone who likes to play it as an RPG, I totally get it. It's very different in a lot of different ways for it, but I liked it hit at just the right point of it's nostalgic to that time period. It looked good because it was just trying to be a remake of a Game Boy game. So, like, I feel like Let's Go looked good, played good, was interesting enough, and it changed up the formula enough. Whereas then Sword and Shield is just, we tried. That's what the game felt like. It just felt like them saying, we tried, but not really that hard.
Yeah.
Which then I now need to scold you more for you still need to... I love you burned through, like, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon in, like, a month, but you still have not played Legends. I'm very curious to see what you think of Legends.
Okay.
But, hold on. Go back a little bit. What did you play in June, you said? You played Operation what?
I played Shadow Hearts.
Shadow Hearts. Why? What led to this?
Because I kind of want to do a video on it.
I'm just thinking about. I can't even think of the last time I even thought of Shadow Hearts. That's such a funny one. Did you feel like it held up?
Last time anyone else did either.
Well, for a reason. But how did you like it? Was it fun? Did it hold up? Were you like, it's okay?
I mean, it was still good, but not as good as I remember it.
Still Operation Darkness. Let's see. What's in...
No, I haven't played... I mean, I'm going to play Operation Darkness again at some point, but I haven't played that recently.
You're waiting for it to become backwards compatible, as we all are.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything you're planning on playing for the rest of July that's not video-related?
I mean, no. I can't think of anything.
Would you like to guess what the only game I've pretty much been playing besides Tetris 99 has been for the last 75-plus hours in the last, 30 days?
Smash.
No. I don't even know if I have 70 hours in Smash. It might be close, but I definitely don't.
Miku, Project Diva, Megamix?
Definitely not. That's a PlayStation series for me only. No, I finally beat, after many hours, Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition and the Epilogue Future Connected. So I'm doing a little marathon for myself of... I've already beaten Xenoblade 1, but that was back on the 3DS. I never even beat it on Wii. So finally playing through Definitive Edition all the way and then experiencing... Future Connected, and now I'm already into 2. I think I'm about 5 hours into 2. Is so weird. I don't know if it's because it was on the 3DS and I didn't really think about it too much at the time. When I played Xenoblade on the 3DS, it was this is really good. But it has some things that I would have liked to change about it. And Definitive Edition just does such a good job of being a re-release and making everything either prettier, play better, look smoother, and things like that, where it's it's probably got to be the best RPG on the Switch. If not top 3. I think that could change pretty easily with a couple of other games and stuff, but it's amazing how well that game holds up in so many aspects. Future Connected was interesting. I kind of went into it thinking it was going to be a lot bigger than it was. I definitely thought it was going to feel more like an expansion like Torna, but it's really a 9-hour... It feels like a DLC quest that got cut out of the game 10 years ago, you know? But at least it's cool that, they brought all the original cast back, or at least everyone who's in that game's story is back after 10 years. So it does a lot of cool stuff like that. How far did you ever get with Definitive Edition?
I'm only a couple hours in. I wasn't
it's
really
a long game.
Digging the combat, to be honest.
Okay, then good, because I actually had a question for you about that. So, Xenoblade is weird, because I don't think that's a game you could just hand somebody. I feel like that's a game that if you don't like its combat, I don't think you're wrong, you know? It's very different than other RPGs out there, unless you're someone who played a lot of Final Fantasy XII.
Which I didn't. I've only played... Well, I mean, the only ones I played, to completion are 1 through 9. And the order I recommend you play them is 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9.
And I'm guessing you never played Xenogears or Saga, right?
I played Xenosaga Episode 1.
What'd you think of that one?
I have not played Xenogears. I thought it was good, but that's mainly because the combat was actually fun.
So I'd be curious. So explain to me what you don't like about the combat. Because like I said, there's no wrong answers here. It's very different. It's not like you can just kind of explain it in one sentence.
Well, I mean, 1, it feels like the battles take forever. And 2, it's just, it's not turn-based, but it's not really an action RPG sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for anyone out there who has not played Xenoblade, think of an MMO, how you have auto attacks. So you select who you're attacking, and your basic non-special attacks happen automatically at a set speed through all of your party members and stuff. And you can basically do your hotkeys. So you have 8 different attacks that you can do, or up to 8, and then there's your super specials and stuff. But you're basically just managing where's your character's positioning, and then when do you do your specials. That's all you're thinking about. Because I remember I showed Mary it when I was playing, And I was like, you know what's funny? Like, there are moments where I don't understand Genshin Impact, and I showed her the screen of what I was doing. Like, I was in a really late game, like, Super Boss for Xenoblade 1, and she's like, this makes no sense. How does this make sense to you, but Genshin Impact doesn't? And it's one of those things where, like, I'm sure it's because I just haven't played a lot of Genshin Impact, and I need to do more of it, but it is one of those things, like, I could not just imagine handing, like, someone who has no idea how to play Xenoblade without multiple tutorials and stuff like that. So it's an interesting one of, I'm glad it's as popular as it is now, but it is so funny of, like, I feel like I wonder, like, if because its gameplay is so unique, if that helps it kind of stand out. Because I feel like Xenoblade has a lot of like things that help it like stand out too. Because like when for you, as someone who's not, like, super into the, like, Xeno series, or at least, let's just stick it to Xenoblade. Like, for you, with Xenoblade, what do you think of that, like, okay, what is unique about Xenoblade Chronicles? Like, what are, like, a couple of things that come to mind for you? It could be gameplay, presentation, anything.
I'd say I would say the presentation for one thing. I mean, the world is really big, especially for a Wii game. I mean, like, not to mention it's a JRPG on the Wii, which is a console that doesn't really have a lot of JRPGs, or just RPGs at all.
Or good ones.
Also the voice acting.
I was going to say, I can't believe you weren't going to say the voice acting. When you say it's one of those series that it's like, pretty much universally, if not 9 out of 10 people, played in English because of like the British voice acting.
Yeah. Wait, did it have dual audio?
And we know it never had dual audio. The series first had dual audio with Xenoblade Chronicles X, I'm pretty sure had dual audio. And then I know Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had it, but you had to download it in a day one patch. Definitive Edition has it on the cart, and actually Nintendo just announced 3 also has it on the cart.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like no offense to the Japanese voice acting, like, it's totally fine, but Nintendo of Europe just knocks it out of the park by making... It's kind of like the whole Dragon Quest thing. Like, I can't imagine a Dragon Quest game getting a dub with American voice actors. Like, that's actually one of my things I'm really excited about, even though I love a lot of Final Fantasy games with American voice actors. Did you hear that they announced that for 16, it's all, like, people going to be talking in, like, old English voices?
I did not hear that, actually.
And, like, the last time I can kind of think about them really kind of leaning into accents in a major way would be maybe 12, and even 12 still had some American voice actors and stuff with it. But yeah, 13 and 15 were very much, hey, who's popular in anime right now? Grab Troy Baker and Ray Chase and call it a day.
Yeah.
So that makes me excited about 16 and stuff like that. But yeah, if it's something like that, though, like where you're like, if you don't love the combat, it definitely gets better. But it is a slow game for the first many hours. Like, did you even get to the point of having Charla, who was, like, the sniper?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so, like, there's a large... Like, it's a long opening. You're mostly expected just to stick with it for the story, because the story, at least, is really strong at the opening. But yeah, the gameplay is pretty whatever for when it starts. It is one of those games that's like... Hey, if you're not vibing with this and seeing the potential, because it does get really deep. Like, by the time you finally get to the game, like, you're juggling multiple skill trees, multiple special moves, multiple things like that all at the same time. So I'm curious. In my last Xeno question, then I promise we'll move on, everybody, to this not Xenoblade podcast. Do you look at Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and then do you get excited at the battle system being different or overwhelmed? Because if you remember, Xenoblade 3 is going to let you control 6 party members in battle at the same time.
I mean, I haven't actually seen any footage of Xenoblade 3, but
there's a great direct. There's no spoilers. Very good, like 20 minutes. You're either going to know if you're in or out through the direct. It's a really good one.
Well, okay, I mean, is the combat, like, is it, like, fundamentally the same as 1?
Yeah, you're still moving around, selecting your arts, attacks automatically, stuff like that. It's just deeper.
Honestly, that kind of sounds like a pain in the ass.
That's why I was curious. I was wondering if hearing 6 would turn you off. Because, like, for me, I hear 6, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Because, like, my big thing was, this game is so central about all the characters in your party. And there's so many times where I'm like, I want to play with everyone, but I can only play with 3 people. So, and then to like actually make it more, to make it even more of a clusterfuck, you actually have 7 characters in battle with you. There are 6 that you control, and then you can have a 7th who is a hero, and there are multiple different heroes. So, like, when you look at the HUD for 3, it's got a lot of stuff going on. But, like I said, we're not here to talk about that, but that's just some games we've been playing. First up, we're going to be talking about what just happened a little over a week and a half ago as of this recording. Anime Expo 2022 actually happened, and I did not go because my life is nothing except working, sleeping, and trying to move and being very poor. But you were able to go, Nyarly, and you have gone, what is this, your 4th AX? 3rd or 4th?
No, it's my 3rd.
Okay. So you'd gone, let me guess, 2018, 19, and this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to shut up finally. Give me a quick catch-up. Pretend someone listening has never heard of AX and has no idea what it is. They just know it's a anime convention in California, and Atlus shows up sometimes.
Yeah, it's big. It usually gets well over 100,000 people. And I don't know if this is like a new thing, but they also like announce, they have like the anime companies come, they put on panels, and sometimes they announce stuff. And the dealer's hall is really big, and they also, like, all the vendors have a lot of exclusive items. Like Atlus had a bunch of exclusive stuff, Arc System Works had a bunch of exclusive stuff, and sometimes they're also able to get like really popular but also kind of obscure guests. Like they got some like popular doujin artists to come this year.
Oh yeah, they had the person behind Metamorphosis was there. That was like their guest of honor.
One of my friends sent me her copy of that, and she was like, "Hey, can you get this signed?" So I was going to go get it signed, and then I got to the autograph ticketing station at like 6 a.m.
I bet it was
2 hours before it opened, and the line was like half a mile long.
I think that was that person's first time ever in the States, like at least at a convention,
really?
At least at a con.
I could have sworn he was there in 2019.
So I'm assuming you didn't wait 9 hours for Shido, or it's either Shido or Shino L or whatever. But I at least have to ask. You don't have to say the friend's name. Do I know this friend who gave you their copy?
Probably not.
Okay. I love that of like, hey, take my porn mag and get it signed for me, please. Is a great request, but what man? I mean, I get it because like it was their big guest of honor and stuff that year for it, and it is a big deal. Like that's a very influential artist, whether you're a fan of like their work or not for it and stuff. So I definitely get the line being insane.
Yeah, there was no priority line either.
Mm-hmm. I forgot, for this year, did you try and get a media badge, or did you just go normal general consumer?
No, I did get a media badge.
Oh, okay, nice.
Okay, I got an industry pass, which is kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's basically the same. So, like, were there any, like, things that were easier for you with that?
Well, I mean, I was able to, like, for a lot of the panels, I was able to just straight up skip the line. But if they filled up, then I still couldn't get in. So, like, there were some panels that were, like, right after one another. I wasn't able to get into those. Like, I wanted to go to the JoJo anniversary panel. I couldn't get into that.
This is one of the things I like about you. I know a lot of friends who go to AX, but a lot of them just go for the merch and photos and don't go to panels. Whereas, like, if I ever went to AX, obviously, like, checking out some of the merch and stuff would be cool, and the guests and stuff, but, like, man, some of those panels and, like, things they do there, it's, like, kind of some companies bigger, like, Bandai Namco announced more stuff there than Summer Games Fest. Like, Bandai Namco had, like, I think 8 different announcements. Like, they had a ton of game stuff that they announced throughout the entire weekend and stuff. And, like, they were probably, the only booth with, like, a new game, like, with an exclusive demo there, right? Like, most companies don't really come with, like, demo units.
Yeah, and also, like, I mean, they didn't let me do it on Friday, but on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, they let me in the convention center like really early. So I was there when it was empty.
Oh man, I would love to see how empty it is, and then like what like that's like do the before and after, you know?
Yeah, but I mean there wasn't anything to do, so I just got in line and just played with my phone.
No street pass?
No.
I saw someone in our Discord brought their 3DS, and like they had
Oh my
to
God.
Street Pass. I mean, someone else was there. They got.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, I had my computer with me, but I didn't bring it in the convention center. It's like, I mean, okay, this is a $1,500 laptop. I don't want to risk losing it.
Oh God, yeah, no, I would
or
not.
have it get stepped on or something like that.
Because the thing about AX is AX doesn't do fan panels. It's pretty much all like industry and guest stuff, right?
Well, they do have fan panels, but getting them is pretty difficult.
Did you apply this year?
No, I didn't.
I
mean, the thing is, I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't, like, honestly, like, I was expecting them to cancel it at the last second, but they didn't.
True. Honestly, I thought until... I thought until Atlus had that announcement and announced that all their stuff was based around AX, I legit was like, any day now, I bet it could get canceled. And it was one of those things where, like, also another one was, remember all the, brouhaha about, oh, yeah, you don't actually need to prove you were vaccinated, and then everyone flipped out, and then they were like, okay, you do need to prove you're vaccinated, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I feel like it was definitely wishy-washy for a while. I'm kind of comparing it to at least like the last one I went to with NakaCon of how they did the vaccine thing. So when they're like checking your vaccine, is it just they need to look at your ID card or your a picture of your vaccine ID card?
Well, I mean, I didn't. Okay, well, I actually lost mine a long time ago, so I just pulled up my records in my chart and showed that to them.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things because there's not like an official thing for it. Like it's funny we have like this card system to prove if we've been vaccinated, but it's the easiest thing to forge if you ever lost it.
Like, I don't know how, I don't know how anyone is able to, like, validate to make sure it's not faked.
Pretty much it's just on good measure, which then makes it kind of seem funnier to then all the people who were then mad saying they wouldn't go to AX unless they did that, and then you realize, well, it's not really going to stop anything. Like, yeah, well, it probably helps a little bit.
Well, the thing about that is, like, I mean, it's not like COVID is the only thing you're at risk of catching if you go to an event that big. Like, you could get a cold or something like that. It's just because of COVID, people are...
Like, do you remember con flu or con plague? Like, that was you just kind of expected to get sick back in the day when you went to a con.
I've gotten home from conventions and then I got, like, I haven't gotten a flu, but I've just gotten a cold.
I will say I am surprised.
I'm not gonna blame the convention if that happens to me.
No, yeah, it's definitely more of a on the people thing. I will say I'm surprised. I knew people who went to Summer Games Fest because there was like a press thing. People at Summer Games Fest and GDC this year all had like super spreader people going around. I didn't hear of a lot of people getting sick from AX, surprisingly. Because
I mean, I didn't get sick.
Yeah. And I mean, we all saw the pictures on Twitter. It's just a sea of people.
I did get sick, but it wasn't COVID, but I'll get to that later.
I got hepatitis at AX. That'll be a great episode title.
Well, what happened was I had some weird, like, corn dog thing from the beer garden, and that gave me a really bad stomachache.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, at least that's, like... you're sick for 20 to 48 hours as opposed to, again, yeah, like, I'm dying.
I mean, actually, well, in that case, I was only sick for, not long because I just went to the bathroom and then I felt better.
Even better, yeah. Hey.
But I still had to miss the masquerade because of it.
Oh, okay, no, I get that.
Yeah, like, I sat down and then my stomach started hurting. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
So, let's knock out some of the Atlus stuff, because Atlus was there I would say they were there in a medium-sized way. I feel like they could have done more, personally. They definitely were partnering with a lot of brands and different things like that. So let's just go with the easy one. How did you like their booth? How was the booth experience? Was it big, small, cramped, unorganized, organized?
I mean, it was pretty organized, but I mean, and they had, like, stuff on display there. It's just, like, because of the line, you didn't really get to look at it for very long.
Yeah, like, my whole thing with the booth was kind of like this. I liked that they had a themed booth, but I feel like the only thing the booth was there for was to sell merch. You know?
Yeah, they also had a thing where you could, like, get your picture taken with Ringo.
Yeah, but, I mean, Yeah, like that's fine. Like my thing is this, and I think we have a question about it later. 2 weeks ago, before AX, there was a English demo held featuring Soul Hackers 2 gameplay. Why was that demo not at AX? Like, I feel like that would have been a great place to let a ton of fans play it, but instead they just wanted to sell merch. Which, like, I get it. You would have had to bring demo kiosk and stuff like that, but, like, it's not like it's impossible. Like, everyone I know who wanted to play Digimon Survive, if they set out the time for it, was able to play it. So, like, it's...
I didn't get there in time.
Well, it's because you're a Pokemon fan, that's why. Your Digimon dedication is not high enough. I think
what Atlus should do is they should actually like announce stuff at AX, because I actually found out earlier today that they announced Persona 4 for an English release at AX.
I was literally just going to say, I was like, they used to do that. Like, Atlus used to host Shin Megami Tensei panels at AX.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That's funny. I bet you, like, was it either through Twitter or, like, a random YouTube recommend?
No, it was through Twitter.
Okay, yeah. So I pulled that up because I remember what I was looking at recently with that. But yeah, like, they used to have panels at stuff and would announce things. AX used to get a lot of announcements through Atlus. That's why it's weird they're there, but they don't, like, talk about anything. Like, because honestly, I had this thought recently as well with Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I'm like, when the fuck are they announcing that rollback patch? Because, like, no offense, Ultimax is pretty dead, like, online-wise.
I tried to play it. A few days ago. It was a ghost town.
So, like, they said summer. We're almost halfway through July. I don't think it's, like, asking too much for an update. Like, I feel like they could have even just done something. Like, honestly, then that's another one. Going back to stuff they could have had at their booth. Why was Ultimax not at their booth? Like, that's, like, a perfect, hey, do you want to play a match of this game you probably didn't know we released in March? Have at it.
Mm-hmm. Or Soul Hackers 2, like you said earlier.
Soul Hackers 2, that's a must. Like, Ultimax not being there, that's fine, whatever. Like, obviously, it's going to do its own thing. Soul Hackers not being there, I find extremely ill-advised, just due to the fact that it's like, this is your big event before the game is out next month. Why not have it out? Do you have an English demo ready? The game is done. Like, the game was submitted, like, the game went gold in June. Like, English and in Japan and stuff. So, like, I know it's done. Like, the game's ready. Like, any day now. Just keep F5 in our emails, dude. We'll get those codes or whatever. But, you know, it is funny. The last time I said getting a code, you know what, like, weirdly, I have had the hardest time getting a code for, and I tried harder than I should have. And I even joked about, because I made a negative video about it, how funny would it be if I don't get a code for this game, was for Sonic Origins. Because I was like, how hard could it be to get a code for Sonic Origins? And it was extremely hard to get a code for Sonic Origins, which was funny because, like, someone even called me out. They're like, they're not going to give you a code because you said mean things about the game. And I'm like, that'd be funny if you're right. But I was like, I don't know, man. They gave me Sonic codes before the past. I just didn't want to pay $40 for a couple of Sonic games that I was very iffy about already. But then it felt very nice because then when Sonic Origins came out, people were like, yeah, it's overpriced and has a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
So it is funny. I'm optimistic that I don't imagine either of us having any issue getting Soul Hackers. That seems to me like that's going to be a game like SMT5 where we get really early, but for a different reason. SMT5 we got really early, A, because it was ready, and B, because they knew that was a busy holiday season. Whereas I think they're going to give this to reviewers probably closer to the end of July than anything, just due to the fact that there's a lot of RPGs right now. So they want to try and get it out to people who are reviewing multiple games at once. Because, like, I'm trying to review Xenoblade 3 right now. I'm trying to review Live Alive, Digimon Survive, and Soul Hackers over the course of 30 days. And
yeah, I think they should. I think they should do it early. That way we have more time to beat it. I mean, how long do you think it's going to take to beat? Like 40 hours?
They actually already said no. A first full playthrough is 50 hours.
Okay.
So
yeah, they should release it early.
Remember, it's a late August game. So, like, we still have, like, a little over a month. So, like, I think once we get to that 30 days and counting, then I think you'll start seeing previews and reviews and stuff. I hope they're not dumb. It'd be really funny if they wait till, like, the end of July for previews and then no one reads them. Like, that would be very, very bad of just, like... make preview embargo be like a week or two before release, because honestly, everyone's just going to be talking about, like I mentioned, all the other RPGs coming out in July. Like, don't have any coverage from, like, preview-wise. Like, obviously you reveal stuff, market the game, and whatnot in July, but it is one of those things that's like, hey, you know what, you can make a noise in August, because August is really dead for RPGs, for the most part. So I think that's one. It sucks that Atlus West won't ever release demos digitally. Sega's pretty good at doing digital demos in Japan, but I always did wonder why... you know what's funny? The last two Atlus demos, can you tell what they were?
Was the dancing games one of them?
No, that was 4 years ago, so it's definitely not those.
I know they didn't.
Those had demos, but yeah. So the last two demos did not release in America, but we had a Catherine Full Body trial, and there was a Persona 5 Strikers demo as well. But both of those were JP only, because remember, everybody...
Oh, yeah. I've not played the Strikers demo.
Remember, everybody, because I like to always repeat this, because people always think, like, this is weird until I tell them, and it makes perfect sense. Remember, Atlus and Sega are still not allowed to release demos, and it's very funny to me. It's fucked up, but it's really funny. We're just not allowed. We're just not allowed to get demos. Now, I'll give you some bonus trivia points. Do you remember why? Why Sega got banned from releasing demos?
I'm guessing they accidentally leaked the full game or something.
Do you remember which game it was?
Persona, was it Persona Q2?
No, there was never a Persona Q demo. The
I
3DS
know
demos
people
were
leaked
rare.
the game early.
Well, they leaked the game by selling the game early. That was just Amazon released a bunch of the games, but no. Yakuza 6 had a demo. The Yakuza and the Judgment games usually have really meaty, long demos that are just the beginning of the game, and then there's like a blocker point. They did a demo for 6, and they forgot to check if you could progress past the blocker point, and the full game unlocked. And I remember that was a big deal, because it took them a couple of days to figure it out and for the news to really get out there. And remember, this demo was out like a month or so before the actual game, so they probably lost thousands of dollars in sales because they fucked up that demo. And I remember Japan was super pissed about that, so they've been basically quiet banned because of a Yakuza demo fuck up, and that's why we don't get any demos in the West, which honestly I understand why they're not allowed to from the Japanese side perspective. I think it kind of sucks, because I think there's a lot of games that could have probably sold better with demos. Like Catherine Full Body is not really one, like whatever, like if you wanted to play Catherine you probably knew if you wanted to play Catherine, but Strikers was one that I like. Do you remember how much the tone changed when that demo was out and a lot of people were playing it and importing it?
Yeah.
I think Soul Hackers could definitely benefit from a demo, but I don't think a full slice of the game demo is available. The build that was at Summer Game Fest was basically like they did with Persona 5 Royal previews, where they just took a bunch of save slots and let you try out different sections of the game, so...
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see him do more stuff in public, because I can remember Japan also had a whole event where they invited fans out to play the game. They were like, hey, if you want to, come play the game, and then you can talk about it. Basically, they had a bunch of fans come out and do preview coverage for them on social media. And I'm like, why not just have Atlus West and Atlus in Europe do the same thing? Like, why not just invite a bunch of, like, fans out to, like, even if you don't want to release a thing, like, have a couple of things like that.
I will say it would have made the entertainment hall a lot better, because the entertainment hall did kind of suck this year.
What was the entertainment hall?
It's like, okay, so it's where they have people that aren't like selling stuff, but they got like they just got like stuff on display that you could try out, but it was mostly just VTuber models. Like there was this one.
Oh, is that where you would go to do meet and greets for VTubers?
I think, but
That's
they also
weird.
had these like VTuber like things, and one of them was like tracking. One of them was like tracking me when I walked by, and it was trying to capture my movement, but it was having trouble tracking my eyes, so it looked like I was constantly doing an Ahigal face.
That gives me like, oh, what I wouldn't have done for that.
They also had this thing. It was like some kind of like anime virtual world. I think it was trying to be like Second Life, but you know, anime in VR. But then I saw that it uses NFTs. I'm like, yeah, fuck this.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of different things there from that. Let's see though. But yeah, last couple of little things for the actual Atlus thing at the convention. They did have exclusive merch. Not a ton. Most of it you could buy online and stuff like that. But overall, because you got more of a vibe of it by actually being there, were people happy with the merch? Was anyone like, yo, this is great, yo, this sucks, it's okay? Like, how did you feel people were who... Like, how did you feel, obviously, about the merch you bought, and then how did other people around you like it?
I mean, I didn't buy like everything. I ran into another YouTuber hiding in public, and he's talking about how he liked his flannel shirt, the Persona 4 one. And then, like, I mean, you saw the bag that I bought for you. Like, the bag actually has, like, pockets inside and stuff.
Yeah, the SMT5 bag was con exclusive. And oh, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no,
I was going to say...
You're good. You go.
The only clothing I bought was the Jack Frost shirt, the 13 Sentinel shirt, because the others, it just looked kind of lame.
What was the weakest merch? For me, it had to be the Akechi shirt. I was like, bro, it's just black with the Akechi, like, HUD icon.
Yeah. I think it was, like, honestly, it was probably the Persona 25th anniversary shirt. Or no, it was the P4G Teddy pocket shirt, because it's just like a yellow pocket and it's got Teddy on it.
Yeah, I can see that one. I mean, I'm a sucker for P4, so like I kind of like it because it's a shirt pocket, and there's not a lot of like not long sleeve shirt pocket things like that. But I can definitely understand that one.
Yeah, no, same with the 13 Sentinels fluffy pocket shirt.
How was the actual quality of the shirts? Have you worn any of them yet? Like, how do they feel?
No, not yet. I haven't worn them yet, but I'll probably put one on tomorrow.
Did anything sell out at the show? I don't actually remember them announcing anything sold out.
Yeah, I walked by there on Monday. I don't know if, like, I just looked at their thing. It didn't have they didn't have sold out stickers, so I'm assuming they still had everything. So I'm expecting them to have a bunch of stuff like left over as for like discounts next year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it's on discount. Atlus tradition is normally not to discount it, but then just to put it on their website hilariously late. I was trying to think of... Do you remember in past years at AX? Because I remember I would ask like either Kat or Drew in the past to be like, hey, can you get me like X, Y, or Z shirt? Like I remember, because I have a very specific Persona 4 Dan shirt. Like I still have that. I really, really like that. Was only at AX, and it's a really nice shirt. But I feel like in the past... Atlus stuff sold out really fast. And, like, I'm wondering, do you think it was just they stocked up like crazy this year? Or do you think there was just more people there in the past? Like, did this year feel like a more packed year than past AXs for you?
I mean, I can't really comment on the lines because I just skip most of the lines, but in terms of, like, it being crowded, I'd say it was about the same. Actually, on Saturday, Sunday, and especially Monday, the dealer's hall was actually a lot less packed than I remember it being in 2019 and 2018.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, it's not like, I mean, yeah, like, the main areas are packed, but if you need to sit down, like, there are, you know, like, obscure areas you can go to where people won't bother you. I mean, it's not like so packed you can't breathe or anything like that.
I feel like really the only areas that are really bad were like the lines to get in and like the entrance hall.
Yeah, but I didn't hear any. I mean, okay, so what happened in 2019 was like they weren't very clear about like what the lines were to and like to get in and stuff. So at least this is the case on Thursday. So that's why some people were waiting in line for like 4 hours just to get in, and it was terrible. But I didn't hear any complaints like that this year.
Is this their first time doing a Monday show?
Yes. It might have been. I think it might have been because they had VidCon and they needed an extra day to clean up from that.
Oh, you didn't want to be there with Mr. Beast?
No.
Let me tell you, I have there's con envy of like when we were in quarantine. God, I miss anime conventions. I miss hanging out with my friends, seeing cool panels and stuff like that. I get negative con envy, like whatever the reverse of con envy is for VidCon. Like I saw so many TikToks and videos at VidCon, and I'm like, remember, person listening to this on YouTube or watching this wherever, like, both of you and I both do YouTube stuff all the time. When have either of us been like, bro, I gotta go to VidCon? Like, what would we go to do there?
It's like, yeah.
Because, like, no offense, no one I would want to see is there. I'm sure there are cool people at VidCon, but, like, I'm not going to VidCon to learn how to be a better person who makes YouTube videos, because I won't say YouTuber. It's one of those, like, to me, VidCon is one of those things where that's for people who are just obsessed with, like, you ever, like, log into YouTube on an unsigned-in account and just look at what YouTube suggests to you? It's people who watch that stuff is, like, who go to that. Like, because, like,
Yeah,
do you know anyone who goes to... I've never known anyone who goes to VidCon. And, like, no, I did know one person who went this year. And even though I don't know them personally, I even thought to myself, why are you going to VidCon? Was, like, LS Mark went to VidCon this year. And I'm like... why? I'm like, it's cool if you want to. Like, if you like, people in the comments, if you love VidCon, let me know. Please teach me. But, like, I've never heard someone be like, dude, VidCon was so sweet this year. Like, cool. There's a lot of swag, and YouTubers are making videos there. But, like, there's no, like... And maybe because, like, we're a really niche part of YouTube. That's why. But, like, IGN doesn't cover VidCon. Like, you don't... Like, it's mostly just all those people who... Their whole life is just being Let's Players or, like, prank channels or, like... The YouTube videos I don't watch.
The kind of people that put red arrows in their thumbnails.
Yeah. Don't worry, hey. Are you sure you've never... Are you sure you've never done that?
Caps.
Don't make me go through your videos, I'll check.
I have not done that. I guarantee it.
I'm gonna check mine, too. I might have, like, I might have done it ironically. So I'll check to see if I'm not guilty of that, but, So, like, I ranted a little bit on VidCon, but I'm curious for you. What are your thoughts on VidCon? Because honestly, like, it's been that thing where I'm like, dude, I could not be paid to care. Like, I would literally have to be flown out to go to VidCon in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I pretty much what you said, but I mean, we are getting a little sidetracked here.
I mean, bringing it back to AX, it is that thing of, like, there's a, like, to be fair, are you and me fucking watching anime all the time? Not really. AX isn't really, like, just an anime convention. I mean, most anime conventions aren't. Like, the reason we like AX, like, let's be real, if AX happened next year, I mean, it is happening next year, if Atlus doesn't go to AX next year, you would still want to go, right?
Probably.
It's like that thing of, like, it doesn't really matter who's there to make it like, oh my god, I gotta be there. Like, it's mostly, like, the industry stuff, the panel things, different aspects like that, are, like, the different sort of reasons why. Trying to think for it, but, like, it is nice that, like, it does have so much support. Namco does a ton, like I said. I think especially the companies who do a lot of merchandising, you see a lot, like, there's not a lot of small companies. Like, I'm not sure if Natsume is there. I know companies like Xseed and Axis go.
Yeah, Axis. I did go to Bandai Namco's panel on Friday.
Oh, was it the, like, showcase panel?
Yeah, they showed that My Hero Battle Royale thing. They showed
what was the vibe of the room for that? When I saw that trailer, because that had leaked. Like, the concept of that game had leaked for My Hero Battle Royale. But, like, when I saw that trailer, I was like, please say psych. Or, like, tell me it's free to play or something. Because I'm like...
Yeah, it is.
But it was like, it's fine, I get it, I know it's popular, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I kind of feel like right now, we're a year... I don't know. I feel like My Hero Academia is 2 years away from being where One Punch Man is right now.
What do you mean?
Like, would you call One Punch Man popular? Like, is it mainstream?
Yes.
As much as it used to be in its heyday?
I don't know if I'd say it's mainstream, but it's popular.
I mean, it's popular more, I feel like, more so for the iconography and the memes of it. Like, I feel like no one watches the show. Season 2 was universally...
So it's like JoJo.
No, JoJo is beyond mainstream. The show's popular, the manga's popular, the merch and games are everywhere. Like JoJo, I don't know how the fuck JoJo does it. I'm glad JoJo is popular, but I feel like something like One Punch Man had a chance, had a really strong start with season 1, and fumbled the bag really hard with season 2. I think the thing that helps with My Hero Academia that'll probably keep it more relevant longer is that My Hero Academia hasn't had a dip from the fans' perspective, but like, if you look at anything, My Hero Academia is being milked. Like, the way people say P4 got milked, P4 didn't have multiple spin-off mangas going at the same time, multiple games, there's a new fucking Funko Pop for My Hero Academia every goddamn week coming out. Like, it's all over the place. So, like, My Hero Academia, I feel like as soon as it ever gets bad, it'll be like, okay, stop. Because there's a lot of it out there.
How many episodes long is it?
Oh, dude, it's in the hundreds for sure. I'll check it right now.
Okay.
Latest episode of My Hero. It's gonna. Yeah, they're already in like season 5. Like,
yeah, I mean, they also showed One Piece Odyssey.
So, okay, so
which is even longer.
We gotta talk about this. Well, One Piece is consistently great. That's the thing.
Unless you watch the 4Kids dub like I did.
I don't know, man. That kind of makes it better. I'm not gonna lie. So,
well, it's like it's better, but for like all the wrong reasons.
It's true. So, My Hero Academia usually averages about 25 episodes a season, and so they're over 125 right now. So, I at least want to ask you a couple questions about each game for us. So, the vibe in the room, were they like hyped for the Battle Royale?
I mean, they seem pretty hyped.
Okay. I mean, it looked fine. It looked whatever. Like, the My Hero games sell really well. Like, this is how you know they sold well. The My Hero 1 Justice 2 game sold so well, they added in English voice acting. And anyone who buys Bandai and Namco games that aren't Dragon Ball or Naruto should know, they never localize those games. Like, ever in English. Well, English VO. But, talking about One Piece, so I am dying to know your thoughts about this. What are your thoughts on One Piece Odyssey? Because I am so hyped for that game. That looks so good.
I mean, well, like I said, my only experience with One Piece is a shitty 4Kids dub.
Well, I mean, you don't need. I mean, listen, he's a pirate. Like, if you know the opening 4Kids song to One Piece, you're caught up enough to play like Odyssey. Like, the lore of One Piece isn't necessary because it's as long as you're in the arc or a game or a movie, it's all standalone for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, this game does look good.
So, can we just give a shout out to Ilka, who I don't know how, because remember, they made Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl the same time they were making this game. I'm like, how does this end up being the game that looks better? Like, this game looks really, really good. It's an Unreal Engine 4. It's on everything but the Switch. It's been in development for almost 4 years now at this point. Like, I was surprised how long... There was a long dev diary about it. Was the dev diary at the panel, or was it just the trailer showcase?
It was, no, they actually had, like, information about the game.
Gotcha.
I mean, I took pictures of all the slides if you want me to send them to you.
Yeah, if you could, just, yeah, I don't think they've actually uploaded those online, I may be mistaken, but yeah.
But then after that, they showed some Doraemon crossover with Harvest Moon.
Oh yeah, that's Story of Seasons. Yeah, so Story of Seasons...
It's not Story of Seasons, it's Harvest Moon.
Okay, in America it will be called Story of Seasons because Natsume has the rights.
No, I mean, well, no. What I'm saying is, like, yeah, I know it's technically called Story of Seasons, but Harvest Moon sounds better.
It does sound better, but then if you tell that to people who are interested in one thing and don't know the others, they're gonna go like, "Why isn't Doraemon Harvest Moon not a thing in the States?" I'm more surprised with Doraemon coming back again. Is like, this is the second time it's happened in the West. I'm surprised that first one sold well enough for us to get another one.
Did it ever get big in the West? I know it's, like, huge in Japan, but...
It got big for the Story of Seasons crowd. Like, it's big for them.
Okay.
But yeah, so, like, One Piece, though, I just want to say again, because I think a lot of people... I like what they've shown so far, but I don't think Bandai has advertised it very well, because until AX... we had not seen any gameplay of the battles. So, like, I was glad we finally saw that, because it was like, remember at Summer Game Fest, they didn't show anything showing it as a turn-based RPG. So it was nice that they finally kind of showed it off, because like that's like there's One Piece games all the time of varying different qualities. So it's nice that this one not only looks solid, but is a turn-based RPG, which I don't even know if One Piece is, like, maybe back on the Wonder Swan.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they've ever had.
Yeah, I know there were some like fighting games from the GameCube, which also used the 4Kids voice actors.
Grand Battle, Grand Battle, Grand Adventure, Pirate Battle was what they were called. That actually started back on the Wonder Swan as well.
And then there were a couple like released on the Game Boy Advance, which never got English dubs.
Did you know? Fun little fact, because I went on a One Piece kick recently. The One Piece game on GBA is exclusive to North America and never came out in the West. It was made in Japan, but because it was made for the Western market, which was so far behind, it was made exclusively for us, and so Japan never got it.
So it's like Go-Go Hyper Grind.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's one of those weird ones of like it's a game that like Bandai, or it might have been I forget who actually was publishing that at the time, but yeah, it was one of those interesting ones of like it's a good game. It's got really interesting sprite art. Most of it's pretty much taken from the Wonder Swan games at the time, but one of those weird little unique anime games because we were hilariously behind on stuff.
Yeah, but then after that they showed some stuff for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. And
what a title!
Then they showed some Digimon Survive.
Ooh, tell me about how was the room feeling about Digimon Survive? Was there hype?
They were pretty excited.
Okay, good. I feel like in my gut, people aren't talking about that game, but I think it's going to sell well. Like I feel like Digimon fans are hungry. They were talking about the like how it had the like branching story with choices and whatnot. So I may end up doing a video on this. I'm not sure if I will or how long it would be. But just like as a little heads up, I've basically been sitting on the idea of this title because it feels so true. If you want Devil Survivor 3, it's basically just Digimon Survive.
Even though Yasuda didn't do the art style.
True, but like let's be real. Like as much as I love the art style of it, like if you're looking for the theme, core mechanics, and gameplay of like branching story decisions, strategic RPGs, lots of like catching and like summoning like monsters and demons and like stuff like that, very similar vibes in a good way.
Oh, and then the last thing that they announced, it was a new announcement, and it was like Ultra Kaiju with like crossover with Monster Rancher.
Bro, what? Oh my god, yeah. So like, remember that was I don't know if you knew this, but that actually got announced in the JP only Nintendo Direct Mini. Did you know that was a game before AX?
No.
Okay, so what was the room's vibes at? Because when I saw that it was coming in at all, and then when I found out it was actually coming to America, I lost my shit.
It was kind of confused because I think most people were there for either One Piece or Digimon Survive.
True. Wait, was that their final announcement? Was the Monster Rancher game?
Yeah, it was.
Whoever made that choice, big ups to you. That's I'm not making the best choice for the room. I'm making the best choice for me. So just to like put you in the mindset of what a licensing nightmare this game is, it is made because remember who is the developer of Monster Rancher? Koei Tecmo. They own the name rights to Monster Rancher. So Namco Bandai is the publisher. They are licensing the name Monster Rancher and they are paying Koei Tecmo to develop this game. Not only that, all of those kaijus are actual kaiju film monsters in which they are going to get all the rights for. So, like, this is a game, by the way, that, like, as of now, we know it's coming out, but we don't know if it's going to be physical yet. If you want that game, you better buy that, because that game is 1,000% going to get delisted in a few years. Like, that's that's like one of those games that, like, it's like a Project Cross Zone. It's like, there's no way that this game should have ever happened, let alone came out in the West, but we have to buy it and we have to support it.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't actually. Did they say it was getting a physical release?
They have not. I know that for sure. They have not said.
Hold on. I'm just going back to my notes.
It's just that's such a bonkers fucking move of like, because like it's still Monster Rancher. Because like, do you remember the trailer? They straight up were like, you get these kaiju monsters from CDs. I was like, this is absolutely wild.
Okay, well, it doesn't. I vaguely remember them saying it was going to be digital only.
I mean, even if it is, that is fine. I'm 99% sure that this will get a physical release in Asia in English, so that's totally fine.
So that was the last thing I did on that. That was the last thing I did at the convention on Friday. But outside at one of the concert halls, they had a City Pop concert. That was pretty cool.
Oh, nice! What'd they play?
I don't know what they played, but the music was good.
That's cool, though. I did not know they were doing that. So,
that's pretty good.
Kind of going on the same end. I know you don't have too much to say for it. We kind of talked about what Atlus was doing at the convention itself proper, but they had a couple of different things. Can I get the Nyarly food truck review experience? Because there were 2 Atlus-themed food trucks, right? One for Soul Hackers, one for Persona 25.
Yeah, I had the Soul Hackers 2 one. It was decent, but it was also expensive. Like, after the drink, it was like $30. And then they had a ramen, which was like a dry shake ramen.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask, is this that ramen in a cup, like the shake ramen one? Let me tell you, that does not look great in pictures. How did that taste?
It was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, how does it work? Because when I look at it before it was shaken, it looks like someone forgot to cook it.
It's like they just give you everything in a bowl, and then they give you the sauce, and then you just gotta shake it really hard, and then you just eat it.
Is the shaking just to mix the broth with the noodles?
I mean, the noodles, well, okay, there's no, it's not like soup, there's no, broth, but they give you, the sauce and everything, and the noodles are still cooked.
Okay, so they're giving you the noodles, and then your base... Okay, now it makes a little bit more sense, because, yeah, the lack of broth, without it, confused me right away, first word, but okay.
But yeah, on Saturday, I had the Soul Hackers 2 food truck. And then, no. It was actually, I think it was Sunday I had the Soul Hackers 2 food truck. And then on Monday, I got lunch and I had the shake ramen thing.
Which was better? Like, what are we on the 1-bite pizza review scale, 1 to 10? Where are we ranking them?
It was definitely the ramen that was better. One of the few instances I will say Persona did something better in,
what a weird bar that's at one of the few. Oh yeah, the only few times Persona's been better than Soul Hackers 2. We're setting the bar very, very high. Did you try any other exclusive or themed con foods, perchance?
Well, other than that thing I had that made me sick. Actually, I had this Hatsune Miku Project Diva mocktail thing.
Mocktail? So not a cocktail?
Well, I mean, it wasn't in the beer garden, so.
Interesting. What was in it? Do you remember?
I took a picture of the menu. I don't remember what was in it, but I mean, it was good.
Okay. I mean, hey man, I was here for good drinks. Trying to think. So I know you weren't there too long, but for everyone who may not have been aware of this, because it was advertised in the Atlus. I was going to say Atlus Direct, but the Atlus West AX event thing. They announced the masquerade ball dance party thing. How was the overall vibe of it? What did you think of it? I've heard some stories that I'm not sure how much you've talked to Ben or other people who were there about it. But for you, how did you like it, and what was it kind of like?
I loved it. I mean, it wasn't like anything super revolutionary, but I mean, I got there early. Ben didn't get there until 10.
Mm-hmm.
I got there at 8, but. Yeah, it was, I mean, the music was really cool. They had these remixes of Persona songs, and it was also where I met, it was where I met Hiding in Public, and they also had drinks, and they were all really good. I had one of each of them. It was expensive, but it was good.
Oh, wait, I thought it was an open bar.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, hold on. So where I come from, open bar means the drinks are free.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Let me check. Am I wrong? I thought open bar meant the drinks are free. I'm gonna look at open bar definition.
I don't know who told you that.
Open bar is a bar at a special function at which drinks have already been paid for by the host. Okay, I am correct. Okay, yes,
Okay, so it wasn't open bar.
Gotcha.
You had to like pay.
There wasn't even like first drink free with the ticket for coming in or anything like that.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, so
if there was, nobody told me.
they only charged you all night. That's why their drinks are so expensive. Everyone else got free drinks. So, I want you to know that I don't know one of the DJs. I'm sure if I looked up his name, there were like 4 DJs or whatever who played all night. There's a TikTok I came across from a guy who played, and I was unable to find out if he was being sarcastic while making it, but it upset me greatly to watch. I played this song not knowing if they would know this, and then they did, and it was a guy who literally pressed play on the opening of Persona 5. Like, that was it. Like, when he played Persona 5, people recognized it. And there was no context in the video that he was at a Persona-themed masquerade club. So, like, in my brain, I'm like, I hope he, did he not know what this was? Like, did he not know that's the only reason they're there for?
I mean, I don't remember that part. That must have been after I left.
This was later in the night, yeah. It would have been after you left, but I had Ben, double-check it for me. Like, there were people who, apparently as the night progressed, they were not even trying to play remixes or mashups. They were just playing music. They
were kind of just, they started out playing a bunch of Persona soundtracks, but around the time I left, which was 11:30, they were starting to just play generic, random anime music, and I was just I think these are starting to die down. I should probably
was it as bad as some of the TikToks I saw made it look good? A lot of them were, we don't know if we should dance or mosh, so we're just going to lift our arms up and jump up and down. Because a lot of it was I didn't feel like they were dancing. It didn't feel like a club.
Well, it's because everyone was... I don't think anyone had enough room to dance, but, to the side of the stage, there were people dancing.
Okay. The front of the stage, it looked like a bunch of people who were there for a concert, and they all just stood respectively. So it was just very funny. Because, I'm used to thinking of, a club is, the lights are all off, you can barely see anything, there's a lot of, LEDs and stuff. Whereas this was, no, it was pretty well lit. You could see everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, they also had cutouts of the Persona characters, and
you know one of those got stolen. There's no way one of those didn't get stolen. Was the couch
there?
How
do you steal a cutout?
Easy. You're the last one to leave, and you say, "I'm loading it onto the truck, Jim." And you got little Makoto right there.
Yeah, the couch was there.
The couch was there. Was it comfy? Did you sit on the couch?
Yes, I took a picture on the couch. Actually,
were you? I forgot. Were you cosplaying for the party or no?
Yeah, I was dancing Joker.
Oh, okay, let's do a cosplay review of not how your cosplay was, on a scale of 1 to 10. How was every one of your cosplays on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no one recognized me, 10 was you were as popular as Mr. Beast at VidCon. Each of your cosplays, give me the review. Where were they at? How often did you get called out?
Nakajima, I didn't have anyone call me out outside of the, photo shoot. Joker, I had a few people recognize me, but there were a bunch of other Jokers there. Who else was I? Vincent. I had one person recognize me, but that's because he was also Vincent.
Did you guys do the Spider-Man meme? You just point at each other. Hey!
I don't even know if I took a picture of him. He kept trying to invite me to his room to have drinks.
That was a swingers party. You were definitely going to have sex with whoever was in that room if you went in there.
What else?
Was there anyone's cosplay that stood out to you that you saw? Because, for me...
Oh, yeah, I was also Makoto, and I had, one person recognize me. And that was on Sunday.
Is it one of those things, when a lot of... kind of with the Joker thing, when a lot of people are dressed up as one, do you think, you're less likely to get called out?
Yeah.
Because, for me, I'll usually always try and do a good job of, calling someone out on an interesting cosplay, even if it's, because it's never about the quality of the cosplay. It's never like, oh, no one liked it, so that's why no one said anything. I think a lot of it is just kind of people's different like comfort levels and things for it, or like ones that really stand out. Like, because for me, I always like to call out when I see weird ones. Like, I saw a dude in 2022 cosplaying as someone from Metalocalypse, and I went up to him and I was like, dude, I'm so glad you're doing this, because that show is so not relevant right now, but that's great to see, that kind of thing. And it'd be like other ones of like Persona, like, yeah, Nakajima's a great one, because like, who the fuck else is gonna cosplay as that shit? It'd be like seeing like Snowboard's kids cosplay.
Yeah, and I was also Togami on Sunday, because one of my friends is doing the Danganronpa photo shoot.
Oh, nice. Did you post a picture of that one? I don't remember if I saw that one.
No, I haven't yet, anyway. But, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like, I mean, there was, like, there was, like, 900, like, of the Spy X family, like, cosplays.
the child, the mom, or the dad?
All of them.
A lot of Anyas.
Mostly Yor, and some Anya, and like a little bit of I forgot the guy's name, but yeah, there was a lot of them. In 2018 there were I'd say like a quarter of the girls there cosplaying were 02.
Oh my god, that would actually kind of make sense. Was there anyone that stood out to you of like, whoa, that's a deep cut, like cool cosplay that like you still think of as like, wow, that was awesome?
Well, I mean, aside from the like really big like animatronic ones, I couldn't think of any. Okay.
At the Atlus photo meetup thing, well, not that photo meetup thing, the Atlus photo themed cosplay thing that like LaRue hosted. What was there anyone there that like you were surprised to see in terms of like, oh, that's a really deep cut, like anything like that?
Well, I mean, there was a Rido there, but I saw him before.
Oh, was it the, fuck, I know his name. Because there was only one Rido, right? I'm pretty sure there was only one Rido at the whole con.
Yeah.
I saw him. I feel very bad I forgot his name, but no, that guy did a great job with that. Like, that Rido outfit and hat was super on point.
I saw Zenkichi.
Oh, yeah, there was a Zenkichi. It was casual, right? No. It was him in his full-on Bloodborne outfit, right?
Well, they actually had both.
Okay, there were both of those. Because, yeah, I think I had seen... I know for sure I saw the Phantom Thief Zenkichi. But, yeah, Zenkichi is one that I definitely had not seen until AX this year, which I thought was really funny. Especially because casual Zenkichi is, like, the easiest cosplay ever as long as you have long hair.
Yeah, there was... I mean, LaRue was Sakahagi. I also saw Demi Fiend. Oh, and he wasn't at the photo shoot, but at the in the line for the concert... I mean, not the concert, the dance, I saw Maki and a Naoya.
Interesting. Wow. Surprise Maki went for that. No SMT5 cosplay? No Nahabino?
I didn't actually see Nahabino.
It's okay. I will say, now that we have the school bag, where or when are they going to finally fucking sell that school jacket?
Next year.
No, can't wait that long. I will say, place your bet. What will come first? Will they sell the school jacket from SMT5, the green scarf, or Dazai's hat?
The green scarf.
The laziest one. Like, who is this from? What character is this?
You know that one that they gave out in the like influencer packages? It's just a blue scarf with an SMT5 tag on it.
That's a nice scarf. I use that a lot during winter, actually. That was a good one.
What else? What else did I do on Friday? I got in line. I went to the Good Smile booth. That was the place I shopped at in the morning on Friday. I mean, not Friday, Saturday.
By the way,
actually, no. Okay, Saturday, I also, like, before the dance, I went to the Trigger panel. And besides the dance, that was the highlight of the whole convention for me.
I'm glad you went to that, because, yeah, the Cyberpunk looked good.
Cyberpunk, yeah, that was so good.
Were you surprised, or were you going into it expecting it to be good?
I I mean, I was surprised. I mean, like I wasn't like I mean I was gonna go, but I wasn't like expecting anything. But then they showed Cyberpunk Edge. They showed us the first episode of Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and I didn't like. They didn't let us take photos or videos. So, but like it was so good, and you know that like the action was really good, and the story was really cool. And then after they got done showing it, they had like they brought like one of the developers from CD Projekt Red and the like one of the producers of the show, and they were talking about how the director, he hasn't actually played, like he played an early demo of Cyberpunk 2077 before it came out, and then he said he hasn't played the finished product. And I was so tempted to just get out of my chair and shout, I don't think anyone has played the finished product.
You know Keanu Reeves still hasn't played Cyberpunk?
Really?
Yeah, he got asked about it in an interview last fall with the Matrix interviews, and they were like, hey, how do you feel after the whole Cyberpunk thing? And he was like, oh yeah, it was great being a part of the project, working with the team and like consulting and stuff. And it was like, have you played it? And like, no. It's like, because CD Projekt Red like were like, oh yeah, Keanu's played it.
Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't on stage running it, because if I was, I so would have made that joke.
I appreciate your discretion.
I was also kind of hoping that Mike Pondsmith would be there, but he wasn't.
Was it the English episode 1 dub or sub?
Yeah, it was English.
Nice.
Which I'm honestly kind of surprised they showed in English. But I mean, it is based on a Western property, so.
Well, I mean, the way they're doing anime now, like when they're recording in Japan, they're recording in English, like basically at the same time.
Yeah. 10 years ago, you'd be lucky to get dub at all. And then they also like talked a little bit about no. They announced this like crossover between SSS Gridman and that other one. I forgot what's called. It starts with a D.
You must be like the only fan who hasn't like peed their pants at the panty and stocking news.
Oh yeah, that was the last thing they showed.
That's a great ender, man. Whoever would have thought panty and stocking was actually coming back?
I haven't seen panty and stocking, but I do want to watch it now.
It's very short. I would say it holds up, but it's a definitely you're gonna like it or you're gonna hate it kind of a show.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like the style. It's not like anime style. It's more like it looks a lot like Powerpuff Girls, except it's also like a lot more fucked up.
Yeah, I get that. Let's see. Any other panels you went to that stand out to you at all?
I also went to. Well, I also stayed for the Bleach panel, which I haven't watched Bleach since like middle school, but that made me want to watch Bleach again too.
Was Michelle Ruff there?
Yes.
It was worth it then. It was all worth it. I will say I am cautiously excited for the Bleach new arc, but I do also have to remind myself that Bleach is one of the best ideas for a show that also never fucking ended and had a terrible ending. Like, it was really... remember, it was so bad they never even ended the anime. They were like, no, you're good. Just stop here. Like, it was either really bad filler, like... Because, like, I'm not sure if I've ever told you this, but I'm sure I've said it a bajillion times in the podcast. I personally have always thought if Bleach ended when the Rescue Rukia arc ended, I think it would be remembered as much more of a classic. Because I feel like no one really is... Outside of the diehard Bleach fans, I don't think no one thinks of it as like one of the big shonens, you know?
Right.
But was the panel good, like the footage they showed?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the Bleach panel, they didn't show much. They showed like a trailer for the new arc.
It's still
but
early.
Other than that, it was mostly just like they brought Johnny Young Bosch and then Ichigo's Japanese voice actor, and they were like reading lines to each other.
I was just gonna ask.
And then they were
Johnny
talking
Young
about
Bosch
the production and stuff.
Do you ever like think like how lucky we are that Johnny Young Bosch wasn't that popular when P4 was getting casted? Because you know we aren't getting Johnny Young Bosch in another Atlus game anytime soon. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I miss Johnny Young Bosch in Atlus games, but that's okay.
What else? Yeah, that was after that I went to the dance, and then that was the last thing I did on Saturday. On Sunday, I got up early, and then I went to the. I got some of the stuff that I forgot to get earlier at the Atlus booth, which was pretty much just a bag for myself and some other things for friends. And then I went to the Danganronpa photo shoot. And
what was more crowded? Tell me Danganronpa was more crowded than the Persona and Atlus one, please.
Yeah, it was. Except it was also, like, in the sun, and there was no wind, and I was dying.
Did you ever, like, tell anyone? Did you, like, lean over to them? Can you guys believe they still haven't fucking made another one of these games?
Okay, I didn't say that, but I was, like, talking to people. I was like, yeah.
Do you think, like, people in the comments, I know I've asked a million things, but please just throw them all in with no context. Do you think the Danganronpa fandom, do more of them want a new game or are happy that there's no new game? Because I feel like you and me are on total opposites. I'm glad the series is done, but I feel like you really are wondering where the hell is the next one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know where the next one is, but they don't want to make one because the creator is with another company. Even though what he's doing is basically just Danganronpa with new characters.
It's Danganronpa, but unsuccessful. It's less popular
Exactly.
Danganronpa. I mean, at least all 9 Virtue's Last Reward fans, at least they got the AI, the Somnium file. So at least there's that.
Yeah. And the only panel I went to on Sunday, it was the Anaplex panel, and that sucked balls.
Did it cost $500 to get in?
No.
Tell me why it was bad. I can imagine for multiple reasons, but I'm dying to know.
They didn't really, like, announce anything new. It was just like,
how much did they talk about Demon Slayer? I bet that's all they talked.
Okay, well, the thing is, the first thing that they showed this fake cooking game for the Switch, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But then I looked it up, and then I found out that it came out in June of last year. Like, what was the point in showing this? That would be like if Atlus had a panel and then they showed, like, Persona 5 The Royal.
There's a reason I don't really defend a lot of what Aniplex does. They are such a weird cookie-cutter, like, greedy corporate company, but it's so funny to me.
And then they showed Twisted Wonderland. I mean, yeah, like, they're the reason the, like, Persona 5 the animation was so expensive.
Well, yeah, they've always been
And then they also showed, like, a Sword Art Online thing to celebrate its 10-year anniversary.
So no announcements for any... Like, they have so many things they could announce and work on, but, like, it's so weird to me. Like, honestly, like, you know what's one, like, I honestly kind of expected they were going to do this year? Why not just dub the Persona 3 movies? That'd be such an easy win.
Exactly.
Like, it's
give us a dub of Trinity Soul.
I mean, well, we have a dub of Trinity Souls.
We do.
Hold on. I may have had
I will bet you $10 there is no dub.
I will not bet that. But I'm like, listen, it's one of those eras where everything was getting dubs. So I'm sure you're probably right. And I will double check right now. Let's see. Googling as we speak. It's definitely fair. Spoilers. If you Google "watch blank anime dub." Not going to help out. Yeah, it looks like it was only ever JP, but, like, let's be honest. I will say, though, I think I mostly imagined it had a dub because it got released by NAS in the West.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, yeah. It's like, on one hand, I'm like, Aniplex, you have so many things you could do that would make you so much money, but then you also realize... Honestly, they have so much money in the bank from Sword Art Online, and now that they have all the Demon Slayer money, it's like, really, they don't even need to try.
Yeah, and that was the last thing I did on Sunday night, and then on Monday I didn't go to any panels. I just kind of like walked around the dealer's hall, saw if there was anything I missed. But I wanted to go to the Chainsaw Man panel, but I didn't get there in time. But the people that I talked to that went, they said it was kind of boring. They didn't really announce anything. It was more of just a Q&A.
Was it more for the manga, or did they show anything for the anime?
They didn't show anything for the anime.
I'll just imagine that all they did was just bark for an hour. That's all. That's all they really did for it. I am sad, but like we said before, I know you're not a Digimon fan. I did watch a recording someone did of the Digimon panel. The Digimon, like all Digimon info panel, was very interesting because the producer from Japan was there in 2019 in a like. You remember how AX has like big and small panel halls? The last Digimon panel in 2019 was in a super small room, and then they had like one of the main halls for this year, and it was so funny of like, yeah, it's kind of weird and nerve-wracking that there's all these people here now, because like those are like maybe like 200 or something people, and like the big halls like have tons. Like, how many people do you think those can hold?
I'd say 100,000. I mean, I saw that article you sent me about the fire marshal who wasn't letting anyone in.
Yeah. But it was cool to see. Do you have any other FOMO things that like you're sad you either didn't get to check out, pick up? Are you sad you didn't get the Anime Expo 2022 Red Joker figure variant? Are you sad you missed out on that?
I wanted to, not really. I wanted to go to the not Anaplex, the Axis panel, but that was around the same time as the Trigger panel.
I don't know if they announced anything, did they?
I don't think so.
Oh, you know what I bet they did? I think they announced nothing but Otome games, actually. Because I remember on my YouTube feed the next day, they announced a bunch of stuff on their YouTube. I think it was literally just nothing but Otome visual novels coming to Switch. I think that's all they announced.
I mean, I was tempted to buy that Joker figure, but I think I spent like $500 on myself on stuff alone. It was mostly clothing. I got a couple figures, like I got from the Good Smile booth. I got the 02 Nindoroid. I got what else did I get? Well, I got all that stuff I told you about from the Atlus booth earlier, including the Morgana plush. And then I just got a bunch of like random like shirts and stuff from other vendors.
Well, all in all, did it live up to your almost 3 years of anticipation?
I don't know about that, but I mean, it was more of like finally being able to go after 3 years. It was like a breath of fresh air, and it was definitely worth it. I saw a bunch of people on. I remember seeing a bunch of people on Twitter. They were like, "I'm so glad I'm not at Anime Expo right now," and I'm just like, "I'm glad I'm here."
I mean, to be fair, it's really easy for Twitter to be negative about stuff, especially when it's like, "Huh, Kip." Sure is easy to not say, because like another thing important to remember, it's sold out. Like, they sold every ticket they could. You couldn't buy tickets to go. Like, I remember I was like, Kat, why didn't you go to AX? She was like, they're sold out. I was like, wow, I'm surprised.
Like the day before. But what else was I gonna say? Like, I did hear that they weren't, like, I did see that post about how they weren't allowing the vendors to bring in food. But I talked to some of them in the morning on Sunday, and apparently they quickly lifted that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a thing that AX, like that was a policy that AX had, and then they lifted it after backlash, or if it was a thing.
It was like
security people.
Yeah, I had talked to someone who was working in a booth there. It was basically just the people working at the convention center union were not being informed properly, and that's why.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to think if I have anything else really about it. Obviously, we have a lot of people listening who work at AX to this show. I am lying to myself, telling my... If you could tell anyone at AX, hey, think about this, like a suggestion, or something you'd like to see them do next year, what would it be and why?
Well, my suggestion would be, like, assuming Atlus is going to announce anything next year, I'd say have a demo of that.
Well, no. This is specifically for the organization of the convention itself. So, obviously not guest-related. Was there anything about the convention to be like, hey, you guys should do this, you should keep doing that? Like, anything related to just the act of the convention and the convention center themselves, not the guests or the things that are specifically there?
I'd say have more vending machines.
Oh yeah, they had gachas, right? They had gachapons?
Well, I meant like soda vending machines.
Oh, well, yeah, they want you to buy the overpriced stuff for that. Food stuff, I will say, you're probably going to have a hard time not blowing most of your budget on foods and drinks if you're not bringing it all in there. So that,
I mean, I would say to like, I mean, I can't really comment on the main line, but I guess like I would say just do a better job. I'd say how about have more entrances? How about that?
Yeah, because don't they only have the 2 entrances, like the one in the front and the back?
Yeah, and then you have the priority entrances, but the like the main reason, one of the main reasons that getting in took so long on Thursday last year was because I had to do a bag check. So after that, I just didn't bring my bag, and I was able to get in within a few minutes.
Was there any weird bag policies this year?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Because, like, I brought, like, on, I think it was Monday, I brought my bag, and then they just, like, they just, like, scanned it.
I think the thing why last time they had to check the bag, I think there was a shooting around that last AX, and that's why there was a slower bag check process.
Well, I heard it was because someone threatened to do that.
Yeah, we live in America. It could be both, for all we know. I know you were dying to know the answer to this. I did check all of your videos. There is not a single red circle, red arrow, anything. So good job. You were right. I need the jury to decide this fate, so let me know. I have 1 red arrow in any of my thumbnails over the last 10 plus years. And the only time I've used a red arrow was a red arrow going down, like how you see charts where they go like up, where it's like kind of zigzagging upward motion. It's a red arrow zigzagging downward motion. So it's not pointing to anything. It's to notify lower sales. Does that count as cringe YouTube bait?
No.
Okay, all right, I'm safe.
Unless you put the chart emoji in the title of your video, then it counts as cringe.
Okay, yeah. Going back to YouTube nitpicks, am I not the only one who gets annoyed with that? If you have an emoji in your video title, is it okay to just instantly think less of it?
Yes.
Like hashtags, I get. But, like, there is literally, like, who's someone, like, I'm still sub to, even though I've not watched a video there's a long time, and they... Guru Larry Bundy cannot post a video without having an emoji.
Yeah, well, one thing that was kind of funny was that when people were uploading reviews for TMS Encore, they were using the number symbol instead of the sharp Unicode, so it was registering as a hashtag.
Hashtag FE. All the Fire Emblem fans were coming out in droves.
But what else? Is there anything else I have to say? I mean,
we got a handful of questions. So if you think of them, then you can jar it in there.
Okay.
We'll do YouTube first. DSoul A3 says something we talked about before. Was there a Soul Hackers 2 demo at AX? Which we said sadly no. But they also said, how was the Persona merch booth? How was the Persona merch booth, which we talked about? But they also said, would you say overall it was worth it?
Yeah, I'd say it was worth it.
Okay. LOL says, very funny question, but I will just leave it there because if that's the best you got, I don't know if I can read it out loud, so I'll let you all find it on your own. Gary Nguyen says, where did you get that bag? It looks sick. And Gene Rodriguez said, where did I get that bag? I posted a little picture of the Nahabino in the SMT5 school bag, because he fits perfectly in that thing. So yeah, shout out to you. Thank you for getting me not only the SMT5 bag, but also the duffel bag, which it's definitely a duffel bag. I can say that. It'll be good for like sweaty gym socks and probably not much more, but the more I've like looked at that bag, because I did a little unboxing video showing both, or an unbagging. I just did like a little live show it off for it. I was surprised how much it could hold. Like, it can hold basically about 3 laptops, a whole section of cords, and probably way more without, like, kind of toppling over, because I didn't even notice, like, did you see it has feet at the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah, so, like, I was very surprised at how good the build quality was for that SMT5 bag. Like, the only thing,
I mean, honestly, like, it was like $50. I mean, you get bags at Best Buy that quality for like $80, so I'd say that's a pretty good deal.
See, I like that's where your head goes. For me, this is where I go. If Atlus is charging $40 for a shirt, I feel like $50 for a bag's pretty fair.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, other places the shirts were like 30, so
true. But the thing I do want to say, if it was a messenger bag and had like one long strap, I'd probably like that a little more than a handbag. But the handbag is still extendable and gets pretty long, so like it gets the pass for that. Next up, we have a couple of... We actually have three again. We have three Discord questions. Shout out to this name. I don't know when or why you changed this, but I'll gladly read it out loud. Boob Megami Tensei said, if Soul Hackers 2 was ported to Nintendo Switch, what do you think would happen to make Soul Hackers 2 more commercially successful? Which I think is basically their way of saying, like, do you think the game will sell better if it is just on Switch at launch, similarly to
no.
as we're seeing it with the Persona ports?
I mean, you mean if it's like exclusive to Switch?
No. Like the Persona ports kept getting new announcements of how they saved Switch for last. Like, if they just announced it last second at launch and they had it on Switch, do you think it would make that drastic of a sales difference?
I don't. I mean, maybe not if it launched. Maybe if they waited like a few months.
But that's what they're doing. That's why I'm so upset about this. Because like, do people literally think Soul Hackers 2 can't run on the Switch? Oh, I had an interesting development. I haven't talked to you about this. I might make a thing about this because I'm curious what people think, but I also don't want to be hearsay like negative Nancy. We found out what engine Soul Hackers 2 is using.
What is it?
Take a guess. It's not the TMS engine.
Unreal?
Nope.
SMT5?
That's
Persona
Unreal.
5?
Nope.
Catherine?
Nope.
13 Sentinels?
Nope. It is made on Unity.
Oh, okay.
So
the Nocturne HD engine.
Well, to be fair, the Nocturne HD engine is just a PS2 fucking ROM shoved in Unity. But I am very curious how it'll run now on older systems. I'm sure it'll be fine on PS5 and Xbox and PC, but it is one of those things where I'm like, I wonder how this will run now that I know it's on Unity.
You've seen the minimum requirements for the PC version.
Yep.
Like, that thing can probably run on a notebook.
Yeah.
But
so it's not that it can't run on the Switch. Like, my whole thing is this, like we said at the beginning of the show. The Switch has a bajillion RPGs coming out for it this summer. Like, to be fair, if you gave someone Soul Hackers 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Live Alive, and Digimon Survive, I don't think Soul Hackers is going to be someone's first or second choice in the majority of people. You know?
Yeah.
So, like, why not just do what they did with Demon Slayer, where they waited, like, 6 to 9 months, release it later, like, release it next June, and then just get those sales. Because, like, people like us will fucking double dip. We'll just buy it again and be like, oh, let's see what the Switch version is. Whereas, like, if they released all versions at launch, you and me are stupid and we're going to buy the Xbox one just because it's getting a physical release, but, like, we're not out here going to buy every SKU, you know? On launch. Like, we're just going to buy the ones we want to play it on.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think people do need to know the difference between is it coming versus is it going to be, like, the best-selling version. Because, honestly, like, I think Soul Hackers 2 has a pretty good chance of selling the best on PC and, like, PlayStation. Also, let's be fair, we still have a month and a half. This game could still get announced to be on Game Pass.
Yeah. I mean, even if it doesn't, I'd say give it like a month before it comes to Game Pass.
Well, they wouldn't do it post-launch. Like, they've never done that before. Like, post... that would be, like, actually very bad for, like, PR. Hey, all you suckers who want the game, here you go. Here's a free. I want to ask this. I think it was on, like, 2 episodes ago or something. For you... What do you think is going to be the best-selling version of Persona 3, 4, and 5 that are releasing over the next couple of months?
Probably the Switch version.
Interesting, because I was thinking about this and of like, looking at how well P4G sold on Steam alone, and the fact that we know it's on Game Pass, I'm like, I feel like more people are just going to want to buy it on Steam or Game Pass. Like, I think PC might take it away on all 3 versions. So what leads you to think Switch is going to be? Obviously, people have been port begging on Switch for the
Okay,
longest.
for Persona 5, it's probably going to be Switch, just physical version. But for 3, it's probably going to be PC.
3 and 4 will get a physical version. You know why it's not announced? Because they don't even have a release date for it. There's no reason to announce a physical version for it. It's going to get one.
Okay. Well, what was... Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Let's move on to the next question.
Talmy says, how was your social time outside of Anime Expo? Was it fun with friends? Did you go anywhere else? Check out LA?
I mean, I spent most of my time in the convention center, but I mean, yeah, I'd say it was fun.
Best place you ate outside of con food?
I mean, I didn't really eat many places. I didn't eat at like a fancy restaurant. I think I ate at like Denny's on Friday morning.
That's the fucking best. That's like the best answer. That's the most realistic answer. You're in LA. Where should I eat? Fucking Denny's.
I wanted to go to In-N-Out, but it was too far away. And by the time I actually got the chance to, by the time I got enough free time to go, it was closed.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, especially when you, like, LA is already a fucking swarm of people anyway, and you don't have a car or normal transportation. It's like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Fucking Uber yourself, like, in and out for $20?
Yeah.
No, so I definitely get that.
Though on day 0 on Thursday, one of my roommates got us some pizza from, I think it was Pizza Next Door, and that was pretty good.
Is that like a local place or a chain?
No, it's a local place.
What kind of pizza did you get?
Some, like, avocado thing.
What on earth? Do you have a picture of this pizza?
I don't, but he might. I mean, I wasn't the one ordering the pizza. He just brought pizza. I'm just okay,
eating
cool.
it, man. Chiaki Fanami says, any other cons either of you two plan on attending? I don't know. I was planning on going to Game On Expo in Phoenix in next month, but then my fucking life got into a car accident, so I'm not sure if I'm actually able to do that yet.
I'm planning on going to Colossal Con Texas and probably Anime Week in Atlanta. Maybe NYC.
Oh, dude, you ever done Anime New York?
Nope.
It's a big one. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, I mean, half the reason I want to go is just because it's in New York, which I've never been to.
God, I hope you eat at Denny's in New York. That'd be perfect. Cross Renren says, with Persona 3 through 5 coming to Switch and modern consoles, what do you think is next for Persona's 25th anniversary? Remember, we have 2 announcements left. Something, and then something in autumn. What a boring fucking Denny's ass answer that is, but I'll accept it.
You want me to say Persona 7?
I could say Persona Q HD Collection. I don't know.
Persona Q3 for Nintendo Switch.
That would be baller. That'd be funny as fuck, but I don't think that would happen, but I would
Persona
love that.
1 in Persona 1 Dancing Dream Night and Persona 2 Dancing in Dusk.
What do you call a Persona 3, 4, 5 collection with all the DLC on modern consoles? What like dancing in blah 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 name do you give it?
I'd say something like Persona, I want to say Trilogy, but I would not be able to live myself if I did. I'd say, damn, I don't know what I'd call it. Maybe something like,
Do they just call it the Endless Dancing Collection like they did with the Collector's Edition?
well, are you talking about are you talking about just the dancing games, or
It would be Persona 3, 4, 5 Dancing, all their DLC in one package on modern platforms.
I'd say just the Persona Dancing Forever collection or something.
Persona 3, 4, 5 Dance Forever Night Collection.
Yeah.
The only difference, they added 2 songs to Persona 5 and 3.
Then they added, then they made the Persona 1 and 2 dancing games, and then they put BJ Blazkowicz in Persona 2 dancing.
No Strange Journey dancing all night. My God, Antarctic nights.
Just everyone dies of frostbite.
That's true. What new things do you think that they could do to get fans more hype? Honestly, they've kind of blown their load in terms of things we're going to realistically get, but I don't think it's impossible. My gut just tells me June was so big for them just doing them all at once, and we've had such a terrible time leading up to June. Sorry, Ultimax. That, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the second to last announcement is the Ultimax rollback announcement, and then the final one at the concert is just Persona 6 and maybe another spin-off game. But those will be super short, super duper duper short, like teaser trailers. Like very little actual things will be shown there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last two, by Darkwing Spartan says, asking because of the Soul Hackers 2 GIF, provided Soul Hackers 2 does well and that we start getting more non-Persona spin-offs again, what other spin-offs would you want to see? Bringing this up again, Devil Survivor 3, Strange Journey 2, or something else?
Well, I want to say all of the above, but if I had to choose, I'd say Devil Survivor 3.
I think if Soul Hackers 2 does do well enough for them to think of doing more non-Persona spin-offs, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, even if Soul Hackers 2 does gangbusters. Just because Soul Hackers 2 is a pretty safe game, all things considered. It's a pretty modest budget for all things considered and everything with it. It is definitely, I think this is fair for you to agree with this. Definitely Soul Hackers 2 feels like the most budget Atlus game in a while.
How about an actual Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem?
No, because then that goes back to the whole Nintendo thing. That lives or dies via if Nintendo pays
Shin
for it.
Megami Tensei Cross Shining Force?
That would involve Sega caring about their old IP, and they don't.
Shin Megami Tensei Cross Sonic.
I was joking about this. I'm half joke, but Sega literally doesn't care about their old IP. If they can license their stuff out to anyone, they'll give it to anyone.
Shin Megami Tensei Cross Sakura Wars.
I would say that one would work, but Sakura Wars sold like ass, so no one would buy it either.
That's because they didn't promote it.
Well, they didn't promote it, and it wasn't a Sakura Wars game. It was Sakura Wars that wasn't an SRPG.
And it also came out right before Royal.
I thought it was after.
Oh yeah, it might have been after.
I mean,
the point is, it came out around the same time.
Let's be honest. Sakura Wars could have released as a launch game on PS5. It still would have sold bad. The anime did bad. The mobile game did bad. The stage show did bad. Everything they did in the Sakura Wars reboot has been underperforming for them. So that Sakura Wars has a very low chance of ever coming back. The correct
time to make a video.
The correct fucking. I'll tell you right now. If you make a Sakura Wars video about the new one being good, and people are like, "You're right, man. It's so great." No, old Sakura Wars is really good. New Sakura Wars is lowercase f fine. It's whatever. It's it's forgettable.
Well, I mean, how many Sakura Wars games are there that aren't in Japanese besides the one on the Wii?
Oh, yeah, that's the whole thing. It's been a series that you just had to have imported. The first time we ever got anything Sakura Wars officially in the West was the movie on UMD. And then we got Sakura Wars So Long My Love on PS2 and Wii.
And NIS had to localize that. It wasn't even Sega.
Yeah. So, not a great chance for it. But I would say they're not going to be in a hurry to start a new spin-off again, just because games are so much more expensive to make now. But I think if they get to a point where Soul Hackers 3 is existing, I think, we could see another one of these come back. But honestly, for me, I'd rather them just try and do another Shin Megami Tensei spin-off. Because, I'm not in a hurry to play 6, and I'd rather them try and maybe touch base with something different. Maybe it be Devil Summoner 3, something like that. See where and what they can kind of do that's different, but not super drastically doing anything that crazy. Hopefully not mobile or live service stuff like that. But last question, kind of speaking on the same subject, by Ren the Demi Fruitcake, says, where are we at with Soul Hackers 2? Where are we at if Soul Hackers 2 falls on its face? So I want to split up these two questions. It's really one question with a kind of point later that you've talked on and I kind of disagree on. But do you think Soul Hackers 2 right now, as we're at, do you think it is going to sell well when it releases next month?
I think it's... I mean... I don't think it's going to do amazing. But I don't think it's going to flop.
And is it just due to the timing, the platforms, the overall interest by people? Like, what do you think makes you think it'll kind of be in the middle?
I think the platforms are the main reason it's not going to flop, but I think it's just... it's just like everyone seems to be more focused on the Persona ports.
Let's see if Atlus has changed their Twitter yet.
Like, I don't know if you remember, but when they put like Soul Hackers 2 on Steam and everything, they changed their whole like social media to like to be Soul Hackers 2 themed. But then when they announced the Persona Xbox ports like a day later, they changed it again.
Yo, so no shit. Because I checked it earlier this morning, the day we're recording this, they changed it back to Soul Hackers 2 now.
Oh, really?
In the middle of us recording this. It's a shame this isn't live, but yes, now they are in full... Because, like, my whole thing was this, because, yeah, people were like, why are they talking about Persona? It's like... Because, like, going back to the whole July thing, what does it fucking matter? Like, they're not... I would say in Japan, they're over-marketing this. There's so much... Like, I've just had to stop reacting to shit. Because it's like, there's a lot of fucking things coming out for this game constantly. It still looks good. It's not like it looks bad. But it's like, they just keep doing a lot without actually saying a lot. Like, they've thankfully not spoiled anything. Like, I'm still spoiler-free on the story. The gameplay looks great, but it's like that thing of like, yeah, this game isn't like chock full of a million mechanics. Like, you're at the same point, you're just going to be showing me different side quests and different missions, you know? Like, there's really only so much you can show me of this game that's not spoilering anything. There have been a lot more increase in ads and everything for it, but
well, on Facebook, I keep getting that one ad, but
it's that one ad. Like that one ad is on every. Yeah, that one ad is on every social media.
I did when they announced it on Steam. I did get a couple Soul Hackers 2 ads on YouTube, but I haven't seen them in like a month.
YouTube, they've not been super prevalent. I very rarely see them on YouTube. I saw a couple after Summer Games Fest with the dub trailer, but yeah, YouTube is a little bit of a... I think YouTube is probably a more expensive one than like Facebook or Instagram for ads. But the other part of the question I then wanted to ask you that Ren asked was kind of worried because I feel like it's barely being talked about. I think like we need to talk about this in two separate camps. Barely being talked about by general video games media, I will agree. But I think that's how most games media and fans are. They talk about the new hotness right before it's out, and we still almost have a month and a half left. Whereas I think, name an Atlus fan who would like this who isn't aware of it.
I can't think of any.
Like, so that's my thing. Like, while I definitely understand I think they're talking about Persona too much, people are going to forget about Soul Hackers. I think for me, it was like they just knew that they had all of June to blow their load. So they just did that for a month, and now, as we've seen, they've changed on their social media on Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else, and on YouTube and stuff. Like, now it's all branded Soul Hackers again.
The thing is, like, another thing is that, like, they didn't really, like, have any Soul Hackers 2 merch at AX. Like, if they had,
you know what? That's a good point. That's a weird one. Where was Ringo's jacket?
Soul Hackers 2 stuff at the booth, I would have bought that. Like, I totally would have bought like a Ringo themed jacket. I'll say
this though, because I know the businessman answer. The reason why, the same reason people were throwing away Soul Hackers 2 buttons at the food truck, because they're aware of that game from a casual standpoint, but no one has played it. So who's going to be like, hey? Because it'd be like this right now. Hey, Nyarly, I've got merch for Avatar 2. I don't know if Avatar 2 is going to be good. Why do I want merch for this thing that's not out yet, you know? So I think you don't want to do merch for something that's not been proven, and you can't really prove it until you release the game. So I'll give them that, whereas like Japan definitely, because they can do stuff in smaller numbers, that makes more sense. But yeah, like the reason why no merch, like it would have been cool. I would have said this, at least have that would have made sense for an exclusive con shirt. Like, have something. But,
so,
like...
I mean, does that mean you think there's going to be more merch there next year?
Oh, yeah. Or, well, if the game sells well. Like, if it sells up to... Like, if it sells on par to something like a 13 Sentinels worldwide, yeah, then that makes sense. Oh, here's a good bet. What will sell better in its first month in the West? 13 Sentinels. Remember, I'm saying the West as in North America. 13 Sentinels or Soul Hackers 2?
Soul Hackers 2.
Me too. Because I would be sad if it didn't. Remember when 13 Sentinels launched in the West and Jump Force, an old-ass game, sold more than it? That made me sad. That made me very sad. But you know what doesn't make me sad? Finishing this episode. Somehow under 2 hours. Nyarly, thank you for gabbing about games, Anime Expo, and merch with me. Where do you want people to find you if they somehow have never heard of the Legend of New York Nyarly?
You just find me on my channel, youtube.com/c/Nyarly, and then on my Twitter, crawling_Nyarly.
When are you going to be on a Twitter space again? I want to just see you on a Twitter space at like 2 in the morning that just says breathing heavy AMA, but then you don't actually answer any questions. You just breathe into the microphone.
I don't know. I mean, the last time I was on a Twitter space, someone else was hosting it. So maybe if I see one that's hosted by someone I know, I'll jump in.
Okay. Twitter space is an idea that I love to jump into, but I never think enough ahead of time to like host one myself. Does that make sense? Because I like that of just like, oh hey, what are my friends doing? Or what's this random person listening to? Like, it's a good one for like quick killing time on like a lunch or something, or like if you're editing or waiting for something to render. I like Twitter. I like Twitter Spaces for that. I will say this: the idea of charging people for Twitter Spaces is really weird. Because like, you know how like you can monetize Twitter and like, hey, do you want to sell people tickets for your Twitter Space? And I'm like, that seems weird. Well, besides YouTube and your Twitter and stuff, what can people look forward to? What do you got cooking in the old video bakery?
I got Persona 5 Velvetless Part 2.
Will it be out before August?
Yes.
Will Strange Journey be out before Soul Hackers 2?
Okay, I'll be perfectly honest. Like, the footage for my Strange Journey video got messed up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good excuse.
But it's also like so now I record all my videos at 60 FPS, and I was still at 30. Like, I was still on my old laptop when I recorded that, so it's only at 30.
I mean, does Strange Journey on 3DS run at 60?
I mean, I've never checked, but I would expect it to.
I actually would have expected to run less than 30, honestly. Because it's like, there's not a lot of frames of animation in that game. It's a good question. I don't know how I would find that out right away, but all my fucking games are packed up, so I definitely can't find out right now. But I'll look into that for next time.
Yeah,
is Strange Journey 30 FPS?
It's 60. At least on... Yeah, it's 60.
Well, you're probably doing the old Citra, though. Were you playing on native hardware?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm playing it... Well, I mean, I'm playing it on Citra, but it's Citra, like, if the game doesn't run at more than 30 FPS, it's not going to run at more than 30 FPS unless you, like, use a bunch of, like, mods and shit, which I don't do. Gotcha. That makes more sense. I get that. Alright, then let me give you a more fair one. Will the Fire Emblem one be up for Soul Hackers? Maybe.
Okay.
Because that I've already recorded. I just got to, like, edit it. But honestly, I'm thinking about re-recording it because there was something wrong with the air conditioner in the studio I normally record with. So I recorded it in my dad's office, but there's echoing. So,
oh,
it's not terrible,
I was hoping you had, like, a perfect script, but the whole time you're talking in the background, you just hear...
Well, that's what I did with my, like, Persona 5 on Switch video, but I just made the background music really loud.
That seems fair. Well, everybody, all of my links, as well as Nyarly links, will be in the description or the video or iTunes or Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. And thank you all for listening so much. If you enjoy this show and want to support more than just joining us on Facebook, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff like that for free, you can also throw a couple of bucks my way, which would be extra helpful this month because, let me tell you, moving in this country, not cheap, unfortunately. You can support the show, though, and help pay for the hosting fees and get bonuses, get the show early like this one, exclusive giveaways, fun stuff like that. I have found so many things to give away for while I was moving. So there will be some stuff soon, but let me tell you another one. Not a good time to mail when you're moving, because you're mailing addresses, you get all your stuff, boxes for packing, all that weird stuff. But life will be more normal by next episode. I'll tell you this: if I'm not recording, because right now I'm recording in my current apartment, which will be my old apartment by the time this episode goes up. If the next episode I'm not recording it in the new place, something went horribly wrong, which could be possible. I've had terrible luck this year. But, like I said, if you want to help support the show, you can go to patreon.com/SMTN. You can support the show for $1 a month or more, be an SMTN fan, get the show early, all those perks I was talking about. Or if you want to be extra awesome, you can donate $5 or more a month and be an executive producer, just like the following very nice, kind, beautiful people, such as Jag Angus, Budweiser Tall Cans, Carlos Hernandez, Contraband, Cross Renren, K-Horse, Patrick Dessart, Philip Meyer, C-Show, Solaire, Stuart Edwin Bateman, and Cameron Sharp. Thank you all so much for being executive producers. And, yeah, that is the show. A solid 2 hours of debauchery. But we're going to go. I'm going to go probably... It's honestly, it's one of three things. I'm going to immediately sleep, because I took way too much shots of Hennessy before this episode. 2 is too many, I found out. Pack. So if I don't sleep, I'm going to pack. And if I don't do either of those, then I'll just play Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Nyarly, what are you going to do tonight?
Probably just work on my video some more and sleep. I'm also, actually, another video I am working on is a video on Trinity Soul. So I'm watching that.
Please tell me what was the inspiration for this out of nowhere. I have to ask.
Well, it's because earlier this year I finally played through the answer and did a video on that. So this is like the last big Persona 3 thing that I haven't covered.
Really? Well, I mean, I could be an asshole, be like, you're gonna play the mobile games, you're gonna play the... But yeah, I know what you mean.
If someone has a phone that has those games on it that they're willing to let me borrow, and also they have been English translated,
they have not.
Yeah, I'll do a video on those.
They have not. As someone who's played every one of those Atlus Japanese exclusive games, let me tell you, none of those Persona 3 ones were good, so you're not missing out on anything.
Yeah,
they were pretty bad.
From the 2000s. I haven't done a video on the dancing games yet.
True! You could finally play dancing. It's just sitting there waiting for you to review them.
I played them, I just haven't done a video on them.
Oh, you know what I should have done to be mean? I should have been like, will you review Persona 5 Strikers before Soul Hackers 2?
I don't know.
That's a no. Let's just be honest. That's coming. That's coming when it's the slow months. You'll do that in September when everyone's waiting for Persona 5 Royal.
Persona 6.
Well, that'll be October. Either way,
do you think Persona 6 is going to be the last announcement?
Oh, 100%. What else are they going to do? What else? The Akechi spin-off game?
Hitman Blood Money.
Oh my god, yeah. So we got to get out of here. We got to go. We got to go find Zippo. Some hot Zippo leaks are around the corner, everybody. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.